In order to save my sister from the flames, I ended up with an ugly scar on my face. My father saw it as a mark that made me ashamed to the pack. So, when the werewolf king came to choose a mate from our pack, my father locked me in a shed to avoid ruining my sister's chances of being chosen. But unexpectedly, the king still found me. Is someone in there? The voice was unfamiliar to Abby, and as she sniffed the air, she couldn't detect any trace of him. Perhaps it was because her wolf had grown so weak over the years. After the incident a decade ago, her abilities had dulled, and now her wolf barely stirred at all. Yet, for some reason, an uncomfortable restlessness crept through her. I know you're in there. Open the door, the voice demanded, rough and impatient. The sharp edge of authority in his tone only made Abby more anxious. She couldn't open the door, no matter what. Her father had strictly forbidden her from leaving, and if she did, if anyone found her, it would mean more than just a beating. I'll tear the door down if you don't open it, he threatened, his growl sending chills down her spine. Abby's heart raced. Who are you? I can't go out. Please, leave. Her words were strained, her fear obvious. Fear. Micah's heart clenched at the sound of her trembling voice. Whoever this man was, he was nothing but a cruel threat to her, and when he realized that she was locked inside, alone, with no one to protect her, something inside him snapped. He had to get her out. With a single movement, Micah tore the door off its hinges, as though it were made of paper. He stepped inside, his imposing figure casting a dark shadow over the space. The only light came from the moon, and in the dimness, Abby could barely make out his features, but he was huge, far bigger than even the alpha, and his presence made her breath catch in her throat. Who are you? Abby stammered, trying to back away. Please, leave me alone. The man paused, a growl building in his chest as he came closer. Did you just ask who I am? His voice was low and dangerous, making Abby's skin crawl. She couldn't see his face, but she could feel his intensity. Her heart pounded against her ribs. Was he one of the king's warriors? What was he doing here? I won't leave you here, Micah growled. Not in this filthy place. Before Abby could react, he swept her up into his arms. His grip was firm, and as he pulled her close, she froze. She had never been so close to a man before, and the heat of his body, the strength in his arms, only heightened her panic. His scent, musky and male, made her stomach turn in a mixture of fear and confusion, but fear won out. No, please, put me down, Abby cried out, trying to twist free from his grip. She couldn't leave, she had to stay hidden. If her father found out. Calm down, Micah whispered, his voice softening as he held her tighter. His heart ached at how badly she was trembling. She was his mate. He couldn't understand why she hadn't recognized him, but he could feel it. He knew it. She was his, and he would not let anyone hurt her again. Please, Abby begged, her voice a fragile whisper. Let me go. I have to stay inside. My father will. He'll. Micah's heart clenched. Who will hurt you? His voice turned vicious, a growl rumbling in his chest. The way she spoke, the fear in her eyes, it made his blood boil. Abby went silent, her body shaking as she curled into herself. She didn't want to make him angry, not when she was already terrified. The silence only seemed to frustrate him more. Who will hurt you? Micah demanded again, his voice tightening with fury. Abby closed her eyes, pressing her hands to her face as she muttered through a veil of fear. I'm sorry.